Okay, so I'm just going to give you some updates of what is happening right now in Israel. The authorities there, the Zionist authorities, confirmed on Saturday that their air defense systems, including the Iron Dome, and David Sling, failed to intercept the Yemeni missiles. But before I move on and explain to you and do some analysis of the current situation, just want to remind you, most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. So this time, as I have just read to you guys, it was not just one system, but both Iron Dome and also the David Sling failed. One thing that you also have to notice, which is the third missile system that United States helped Israel to install when they were confronting Iran. Where is all of this system? Like, where are they? Are they working? What is happening with them? We do not know. What US is doing, what Israel is doing in order to secure their air defense system, well, guess what? It is literally not possible because these ballistic missiles, they're so powerful, both in terms of its effectiveness and also its speed. You cannot have, in other words, a defense system installed in your country and say that I can have a cup of tea, coffee, or go for a ride and take time off and go for a vacation with my family. That is not going to happen at all. If anyone does that, they are foolish, they are risking. It is true not only just for this fake state of Israel, but also for any country in the world. And this is why, guys, we are so scared of a nuclear war, because anytime a nuclear war will break out, any country will launch a ballistic missile or any kind of missile with a nuclear warhead on it. Guess what? It will for sure have an impact. It will definitely have the desired effect. Now take a look at what the Yemeni armed forces, they're saying. They have so far, since the October 7th last year, 23, they have launched 170 ballistic missiles, and they have launched 200 explosive drones against Israel. This time it is coming when we have seen US, UK, and of course Israel, the Zionist fake state, just few days ago, I think yesterday, launched airstrike on Yemeni Hudaydah port. They destroyed the infrastructure of the Yemeni energy supply. They have destroyed a lot of other facilities in Yemen. And now you see Yemen, the armed forces, Ansarullah, they're retaliating. And this retaliation this time is so significant, it had the impact, the desired impact. In fact, this is the first time that they have been successfully able to launch a strike against Israel and inflict that much damage. 30 people were injured, and in a separate incident, the Zionist state, they lost many soldiers on the same day. I'll talk about those soldiers in a second, but the impact is so severe this time that these millions of Zionists, they went underground into hiding. The Yemeni armed forces affiliated with Ansarullah movement announced on Saturday the successful launch of a hypersonic ballistic missile, Palestine 2, targeting an Israeli military site in Jaffa near Tel Aviv. According to the group, the strike was carried out in support of the Palestinian cause and in response to the ongoing massacre in Gaza. Israeli authorities confirmed Saturday that their air defense systems, including the Iron Dome and David Sling, failed to intercept the Yemeni missile. It failed. Both of them failed. Where is US? What are they doing? Like, all of these egos they have. I mean, of course, we do not know anything about this particular ballistic missile attack on Israel by the Houthis. Why? Because of the gag order in place. We have seen some videos and clips. Thanks to Al Jazeera, they have obtained those clips from amateur videographer. And that's about it. We do not know much of this. But guys, as I said, 30 were injured. I would put the number even in hundreds, because these ballistic missiles, they created a crater several meters wide and also in depth. It was huge attack. The projectile reportedly struck a location near Tel Aviv, causing significant damage. According to the Israeli media, a fire broke out at the impact site and several injuries were reported, and that's all you know. A fire broke out and injuries reported, and that's about it. Israeli medical sources revealed that at least 11 Israelis were injured in the strike, with local hospitals including Wolfson and Ikolov actually receiving casualties. Later reports suggested that now the number of injured could be as high as 30, but again I will put the number at least to 100 minimum. The Israeli occupation police acknowledged the damage and announced an investigation into the cause of the interception failure. How come the police, occupation police, is gonna get involved in this? But anyways, Brigadier General Yahya Sari, a spokesperson for the Yemeni armed forces, confirmed on Saturday that the operation achieved its objectives and reiterated Yemen's commitment to continued military action. He said, "This operation marks a significant milestone in the fifth phase of Yemen's promised victory and Holy Jihad's battle." I have actually posted on my community tab asking you guys, do you think these attacks from the Houthis should stop? These attacks on Israel should stop, because what Israel could do would be devastating. They could kill hundreds and thousands of Yemenis in retaliation, because these are genocidal maniacs. But most of you have said no, the Houthis should continue on with this missile attacks on Israel. But this time obviously they're successful. So Yemenis, they need to be prepared for a very, very severe response. According to the Yemeni armed forces, the missile struck its target with precision, highlighting the failure of the Israeli defense systems to intercept it. Sari emphasized Yemen's determination to strike all enemy targets in occupied territories until the aggression against Gaza ends and the siege is lifted. In their official statement, the Yemeni armed forces saluted the resilience of the Yemeni people who have gathered in public squares and fields to express solidarity with the Palestinian cause. And this is also, this attack by the Houthis also coming after Ali Khamenei, the Iran supreme leader. He said yesterday, and I shared that news with you guys if you don't remember, he basically said the resistance is not dead. Even though Assad fell, even though Syria is not under Iran's control anymore, but he said this resistance will continue on. Nothing has happened to the resistance. So we are seeing now Iran is very positive about this continuous onslaught on Israel in some way, shape or form, even though it is not in a big way, but still it matters. 30 people injured, and they also have to activate those sirens all the time. People are panicking, people are scared, people are leaving their country. We have reported today only, and I showed you guys, there are thousands, at least over 2,000 Zionists, more than last year, they're leaving Israel. So 2,000 Zionists, they're leaving Israel on average more than last year. And then there are now at least 40,000 Israeli Zionists left this year. The impact is there. The Hezbollah war is over, but the people, the Zionists, they're so panicking inside. They know they cannot feel safe at all. I mean, they cannot intercept this missile coming from Yemen. How can they intercept a missile if it is being fired from, say, let's say, Syria? As Syria is also protesting. On top of all of this, do you know what happened? I'll share the news more in details in a second. 500 high-ranking Zionist major generals from the army, they quit their job this year. And in 2022, 613 Zionist major army general quit. It shows that they don't have army. They don't have a military, a strong military. This is not a sign of a strong military. This is a sign of a weak military. When they need these measures the most, they quit because they don't want to do it. It is very stressful, and a lot of them are committing suicide. So when they talk about the ambition or dream of greater Israel, yeah, you have it. These are all puff pieces. These are all PR. Propaganda from the Zionist state. We have seen Netanyahu going to Mount Hermon in Syria, and he's saying, well, we're going to double our population. We're going to expand our territories With what? What are you talking about, Netanyahu? You don't have military, you don't have generals, army generals, you don't have people living in your country. Who you are going to fill it with? Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister, said we are going to expand up until Medina, Mecca and Turkey and all this. You don't have people living in your country because they know you guys are all fake. You guys are oppressive, you guys are corrupt, you guys are clinging onto power by spreading this kind of fake news, fake propaganda all the time, that we are giving you guys, the Israelis, hope that we're going to expand. Don't go anywhere. Israel is going to become a greater Israel. We're going to rule over the whole world. When their military is falling apart. And I'll share that news with you in a second about the military. But let's give you some more updates coming in the last few hours. So there is, in addition to this missile from Yemen, they have also rocket falling in Tel Aviv. The Israeli army said it detected a rocket falling in the city of Jaffa in Tel Aviv, adding that people with minor injuries were evacuated for treatment. So again, rocket, missiles, everything is just raining down on them. And then we have Iron Dome fails to intercept missile from Yemen. Video clip showed. So this is, again, as I said, coming from Al Jazeera, the failure of the Israeli Iron Dome to intercept a missile launched from Yemen. And then we also have Ansarullah. They said, we bombed military target in Jaffa. Can you imagine how far Yemen is? They're launching these missiles and they're hitting their targets. Al-Quds brigades. So Al-Quds brigades is the one for the wing of the Fatah. If you don't remember, I mentioned to you guys today. So Al-Quds is from the Fatah, from the West Bank, and this is the Jenin battalion. So they have like a battalion from Jenin, they have battalion from other places in the West Bank. These, battalions, they're fighting against the Israeli forces, and also at the same time they're fighting against the Israeli soldiers. Guess what happened? Al-Quds brigades, when they were fighting Israeli forces in West Bank, can you imagine? Now they have to deal with the Palestinian Authority by Mahmud Abbas, the traitor. Now they're also fighting with the Israeli forces, and lo and behold, they have announced killing of Israeli soldiers. So Al-Quds Brigade, Jenin Battalion, our fighters clashed with Israeli occupation forces that stormed the town of Silat al-Harithia in the Jenin Governorate in the northern West Bank and inflicted certain losses on them. These Zionist forces, with all their egos and all that, hyped up media propaganda. I mean, the Western media mouthpiece, this mainstream media would not tell you anything that I'm telling you right now. And what I'm telling you guys is that Israel is weak. They are way more weak than we have ever imagined. Yes, one person, he actually said on my comment, oh brother, you always talk about Israel is doomed, but Israel is winning. No, they're not winning. They're winning the war propaganda, and you are buying into it. But if you take a look at what is really happening inside of their military, inside the country, where there is this mass exodus taking place, you would not say that. So you know the truth, you know everything from people like me, independent journalists, that's what we call ourselves. But you will not hear this from the Western media, mainstream media. And they will never tell you that Israel is losing and losing, not only just losing big time. So 2 bodies recovered in Rafah. The fighting is going on in Rafah. And then we also have the Yemeni missile left crater several meters deep that I have just mentioned to you guys. So it was also reported. So this missile was very, very powerful. I mean, creating that kind of a crater. What reminds us is Iranian missiles, when they have launched 200 ballistic missiles, if you remember, and people were taking picture, the Zionists. Why? Because it is something they have never seen before. How can this enter into our airspace and create this much of a damage? This is terrifying. Can you imagine one ballistic missile hitting a building, a residential or a government building? It will pulverize that building, that target. And of course, now Israeli army, they're using civil contractors in Rafah to demolish more buildings. That's what they're doing. They're committing genocide. These cowards, this diaper army will never fight head on. Never ever. They use aerial bombardment, they use air power provided by US and UK to commit genocide. They do not have the gut. They are not men enough to face anybody on the battlefields. Now we have many other reports to injuries coming from Khan Yunis, and we have the hospitals getting blown up by the Zionist forces. Now I want to talk to you about these Israeli army officers that I just mentioned. Combat stress. Around 500 Israeli army officers resigned in 2024. This is the year for them to have a strong military. If there is any time for the Zionists to have a strong military, it was 2024, this year. Approximately, nevertheless, 500 officers holding the rank of major, not just any random officer, low-ranking officer. These are major, guys, major. They matter. Resigned from the Israeli army since mid-2024. So it is not happening throughout the whole year, the last 12 months. This resignation is happening only the last 6 months. 6 months. So how many major are resigning every month? You can say almost 100, right? 6 months, 500. Okay, let's put it less than 100, maybe 80, maybe 90, we do not know. But you can do the math. But it's still, the number is very, very high. So these are causing a critical personal crisis. Say, I see that. Critical personal crisis. They don't have people, don't have military personnel to use those equipments that are being sent from US and UK and other Western European countries. Can you imagine? They have so much in their arsenal when it comes to weapons, but they don't have people to operate on them. And you know what is even much more worse for them? American soldier, UK soldier, any soldier coming from these countries would not really want to do it. Because if the people who were born there not willing to defend their country, I mean, these people are literally saying, we don't care about our country, F it, literally. Well, to begin with, this is not their country anyways, because they know, every single Zionist knows Israel is not their country. It is a fake state, every single one of them know. But nevertheless, obviously, they are born there, so you would expect they would have some sympathy, there's some love, some connection with that place, right? They don't. They're saying, we don't care. Why US soldier, American soldier, or UK, British soldier will care? I don't think so. I don't think that will be happening. This exodus, reported Israel Hayom this week, has caught military leadership off guard and threatens force readiness. They are going to be fighting Turkish forces. They're going to be fighting Syrian forces. Once they're strong, forget about it. Israel is doomed. They will have to dissolve. They will have to pack up and leave today or tomorrow. They are still breathing in Israel because of American money, because of the dollar. Nothing else. Nothing else. The report said the crisis compounds an existing personnel shortage, noting that in 22, a record 613 majors left career service, slowing down after the military onslaught on Gaza began October 23. Current trends suggest even higher resignation rates in 2025. We will see perhaps hundreds and thousands of Israeli majors, again, high-ranking officials, are quitting their job, abandoning their position, and even leaving their country, because these people, you think they will stay in Israel? I don't think so. They're traumatized. They need medical treatment, so they will fly to US and live there for the rest of their life, or maybe in Canada. The paper noted that as Israeli army plans significant expansion, additional increases are needed to establish new combat units, but recruitment has been challenging. Not only are junior officers leaving, but unit commanders are also increasingly questioning their service, with indicators suggesting that all ranks, quote unquote, are affected. The paper said all ranks are affected. Guys, again, I mean, come on. And they're now panicking. Israeli military, they're panicking because they have lost, and also at the same time as we speak, losing experienced leaders. A senior official told the paper that the situation is not just about numbers, adding that wars are not won with equipment alone, but they are won by the quality of personnel operating that equipment. We are at risk of losing our most experienced leaders exactly when we need them the most, the officer was quoted as saying. And there is also another report, just want to show you guys, is struggling. Israeli army says recruitment slow for new reserve division, and you have this monster, his picture, and he doesn't have any more in his army. He's losing, and this is because of combat stress, lack of recognition, and corruption. As we know, Netanyahu is plundering the country, the fake state of Israel. And so when you mix all of this together, what you get a lot of unhappy, discontent officers who are willing to even now stage a coup on Netanyahu. And we have seen one of those recently when they attacked the Netanyahu residence in I believe Caesarea. I think that's where it happened, in Israel. So guys, if you are someone who is seeing no hope, if you are someone who is seeing the strength of Israel and you're saying, oh, they are invincible, today's video, hopefully that will change. I hope that it will change your mind.